Let's play a Pokémon Shield Hardcore Nuzlocke using Pokémon with big ears. To be specific, a Pokémon whose ears are the same size or bigger than its head. Here are the Pokémon Hardcore Nuzlocke rules, which remains the same as before. Gimmicks like Dynamax can only be used if an opponent trainer activates Dynamax. Our protagonist for this run is named Jill, a reference to Jill Valentine from Resident Evil 1.
You were almost a Jill sandwich.
Our obvious choice for a starter is Gorbani, and we shall name it Naruto. Our rival will choose the monkey, and his big brother will choose the water lizard. For our second companion with big ears, we have a Nickit, named Kurama. Welcome to the wild areas. And for our third Pokemon to join our team, we have a Bunnelby named Gaara. We proceed to the Isle of Armor for the fourth Pokemon to join our team, a Baniri, and her name will be Hinata. I had a hard time facing this little girl with her Pancham, and as a consequence of not being prepared, we lost our first companion, Kurama.
What's wrong with you, bro? What the heck? You tripping, bro? You tripping!
That was unfair. Hinata then took out the Pancham. We visited the Isle of Armor again to enter Forest of Focus to gather citrus berries. At level 16, Naruto evolves into a Raboot. For the next encounter at Forest of Focus, one of the best mixed types, an electric flying Animolga, and her name is Ino. For our first gym battle, Milo, the grass type specialist, sends out Gossifleur, and I chose Naruto. Naruto uses 2 Flame Charge to take out Gossifleur. For Milo's ace Pokemon, Eldegoss, Jill activates Dynamax on Naruto and Milo goes for Dynamax as well. Naruto goes for a Max Flare and heats up the battlefield. Eldegoss uses Max Growth and one final stab super effective Sun Boosted Max Flare to claim our first gym badge. For our next Pokemon, we have a Minchino and his name is Sasuke. At level 20, Gaara evolves into a Diggersby. This run would be so easy if Gaara had the ability Huge Power, but Cheek Pouch will do just fine. Let's face Hop in a Pokemon battle. He sends out his Wooloo and Gaara is ready to take it on. Gaara outspeeds with a super effective double kick, and Wooloo goes for a weak tackle. Hop uses a potion and a body slam from Gaara sends it to the red. One last double kick removes the sheep from the battle. Stalky comes out and I sent out Ino, who got screeched. A little nuzzle for paralysis and a critical hit Razor Leaf sends Ino to the yellow. Naruto comes out and Toki is unable to move. A flame charge to boost speed and Toki remains paralyzed. I then set out Hinata for a quick attack and Toki uses Round. One last quick attack from Hinata defeats the monkey. Hop's last Pokemon is Corvisquire. Hinata uses Baby Doll Eyes and Corvisquire uses Pluck. I then send out Sasuke and got leered. Corvisquire outspeeds with Fury attack and Sasuke uses Charm. Next, a Pluck and Sing to put Corvisquire to sleep. I then send out Gaara for 2 body slams to take down the crow. With enough happiness, Hinata evolves into a Lopunny at level 22. For the second gym battle, Nessa, the water type specialist. Goldeen and Ino enter the stage. Ino goes for Electro Ball and Goldeen starts with Agility. A quick attack from Ino is enough to take it down. Arokuda comes out and outspeeds with the first priority Aqua Jet. And Ino retaliates with a one-hit KO stab super effective Electro Ball. Nessa's ace Pokemon, Dreadnought, shows up. I activate Giant Ino to face the Giant Dreadnought. Ino hits Giant Dreadnought with a Max Lightning, sending it to half HP. Dreadnought responds with Max Darkness, reducing Ino's special defense. A striking Max Lightning finishes the job to claim our second gym badge. At Galar Mine number 2, we caught probably one of the wimpiest Pokemon, Unnoibat, and we named him Shikamaru. Marnie wants a battle, and let's give her one. Krogunk and Naruto face each other. Naruto outspeeds with a Flame Charge, and Krogunk goes for a painful revenge. Naruto then consumes an Oran Berry. Marnie heals with a Super Potion, and Naruto uses 2 more Flame Charges to take it out. Scraggy comes out next, and Naruto hits it with a Flame Charge. Scraggy then retaliates with a Headbutt. I then sent out Ino, who got hit by Headbutt, and Ino defeats it with an Acrobatics. Morpeko comes out to play. I then sent out Gaara to face Morpeko. Gaara got hit by 2 bites and eats its Citrus Berry twice. A Bulldoze is used to lower its speed and Gaara, now faster, finishes it off with another Bulldoze. The man who looks like he's about to have his midlife crisis, Kabu and his team of Fire-type Pokemon. First matchup is Ninetales versus Gaara. Gaara surprisingly outspeeds Ninetales with a Bulldoze, and Ninetales uses Will-O-Wisp to inflict a burn. Luckily, Gaara has a Raspberry to neutralize the burn. One last stab super effective Bulldoze does the job. Arcanine comes out and gives an Intimidate. I sent out Sasuke who got burned by Will-O-Wisp. Arcanine with Flame Wheel sending Sasuke to the yellow, forcing Sasuke to eat his Citrus Berry. Sasuke goes for Charm to reduce its attack. Another Flame Wheel from Arcanine and Charm to further reduce Arcanine's attack. Now at the red, I send out Naruto and Naruto gets Flame Wheeled. Arcanine outspeeds with a bite and flinches Naruto. Another bite from Arcanine and a double kick follows. Yet another bite and a double kick on the next round. Then I switch to Gaara who gets hit by a bite. Gaara gets burned by Will-O-Wisp and Bulldoze lower its speed. Gaara now lands a faster Bulldoze and Arcanine receives a speed boost from Agility. Arcanine now outspeeds again with a Flame Wheel and Gaara delivers the final blow with Bulldoze. Kabu's ace Pokemon, Scorch, enters the fray. I sent out Ino to handle it and Kabu activates Gigantamax. Scorch grows larger and strikes Ino with the Max Flutterby. I activate Dynamax for Ino to hit Scorch with Max Airstream. It's one of the biggest disappointments of this run to lose a Pokemon with the best type advantage. I'm sorry, Ino. Sasuke also suffers the same fate. I then switch to Hinata, who charms Scorch. Scorch steals Hinata's Citrus Berry with a Bug Bite. Next, Hinata uses Quick Attack, and the opponent retaliates with Flame Wheel, another charm from Hinata, and a Smoke Screen from Scorch. I then send out Shikamaru and get Bug Bite. With a weakened attack, Shikamaru can now hammer Scorch with Wing Attack without any worries. Shikamaru then defeats Scorch with one last Wing Attack, defeating Kabu and claiming a third victory. I welcome you to Hammerlock City, a city in the style of Final Fantasy. Here we meet Chairman Rose and his assistant Oriana talking to Bede. Easy there, buddy. Hey, wait! Luckily, I have a Pokédoll to escape from this monstrous Gyarados. Back at the Isle of Armor, we caught an Azurill to join our team and her name is Tenten. Tenten requires friendship to evolve, so we just ran around in the wild areas. With enough friendship, Tenten evolves into a Marill at level 21. By defeating this Team Yell Grunt, Tenten evolves into an Azumarill. Our fifth battle with Hop starts with Cramorant and Hinata. Hinata goes for a Silk Scarf powered headbutt and Cramorant goes for Dive. Cramorant uses Dive and catches up Pikachu? Okay, how do you explain this? Hinata defeats Cramorant and spits out Pikachu, paralyzing Hinata. Next up is Silicobra, who gets beaten by Tenten with a stab super effective Rain and Expert Belt powered Bubble Beam. Naruto defeats Toki with a charcoal powered Flame Charge and Gaara single-handedly defeats Toxel with a Bulldoze. Touching this glowing mushroom, an Impidip comes out. I caught the feisty little fella and named him Neji. I trained Neji so hard that it evolves into a Morgrem at level 32. At level 35, Naruto ascends into Cinderace and also learns its signature move, Pyro Ball. The fourth gym battle begins with a weird-looking kid, Alistair, and his team of Ghost-type Pokemon. Neji uses Full Surrender to weaken Yamask and bring it into the red. Yamask fails to disable Neji. One final False Surrender to defeat Yamask. Mimikyu, one of the best Ghost Pokemon, enters the battlefield. Mimikyu outspeeds with Slash, and Neji removes Mimikyu's disguise. Mimikyu raises its attack and accuracy with Hone Claws, while Neji uses Dark Pulse to bring it into the yellow. Neji uses Sucker Punch and Mimikyu goes for a hard hitting Slash. Another Sucker Punch to outspeed Mimikyu and defeat the shy Pokemon. The dead Coral Corsola is up next, and I switch to Tenten but got hit by an ancient power. Tenten attacks with Play Rough, activating Corsola's weak armor. Corsola cuts its HP to put a curse on Tenten. The curse damage forces Tenten to eat her Citrus Berry. Due to weak armor, Corsola now outspeeds with Hex. One last Bubble Beam to defeat the dead Coral. And Curse sends Tenten into the red. Yikes! Alistair's final Pokemon is Gengar. I switch to Gaara, predicting a ghost move. Alistair opens his eyes and activates Gigantamax, landing a Max Ooze which also boosts Gengar's special attack. Gaara enlarges itself with Dynamax and outspeeds Gengar with the Max Quick, increasing its special defense. Gengar retaliates with Max Darkness. On the next round, Gengar outspeeds Gaara with Max Darkness, sending Gaara to the yellow and eating 2 Citrus Berries thanks to Cheek Pouch. One last Max Quake defeats the giant Gengar, and with that, we defeat Alistair to claim our 4th gym badge. I don't know how Bede got this giant steel elephant. The dumbest thing he has done is not using it. Let's have a showdown with Granny Opal, who specializes in fairy types. This gym battle is a gimmick battle where every time I answered correctly, I get a stat boost. Gaara outspeeds with Body Slam and paralyzes Weezing, and Weezing retaliates with the Fairy Wind. I got the first answer right, and Gaara receives a speed boost. In the next round, Body Slam connects and Fairy Wind from Weezing gets a critical hit. I forgot that Weezing has Levitate, and it sends Gaara into the yellow with Fairy Wind. In the next round, a critical hit with Body Slam leaves Weezing unable to move. I got the second question right and Gaara gets a special defense boost. I finish off with one last Body Slam to defeat Weezing. Mawile enters and intimidates Gaara to reduce its attack. Gaara uses a stab super effective bulldoze on Mawile, and Mawile boosts its defense with Iron Defense. Next, Gaara uses Laser Focus, allowing it to land a critical hit on the next turn. Mawile then proceeds with Crunch. On the following turn, a critical hit bulldoze defeats Mawile. Togekiss comes out next and Gaara hits it with Body Slam, causing paralysis as well. Togekiss then uses Air Slash, sending Gaara to the yellow. I then sent Tenten out and she gets hit by Air Slash. Tenten connects with Play Rough and another Air Slash from Togekiss, sending Tenten to the yellow. I let Neji out and he gets hit by a painful Air Slash. Neji's cousin Hinata is out, and luckily Togekiss gets paralyzed. A headbutt sends it to the red and Air Slash follows, ending with another headbutt to defeat it. The morning tea kicks in as Granny Opal sends out Alcremie. I then send out Naruto. Granny Opal activates Gigantamax to enlarge Alcremie, and Alcremie uses G-Max Finale. Naruto goes for Dynamax to unleash a powerful Max Flare, heating up the battlefield. Another G-Max Finale from Alcremie follows. Naruto uses Pyro Ball Max Flare to defeat Alcremie, defeating Granny Opal and obtaining our 5th gym badge. Let's face Hop once again as he sends out Trevenant, and I choose Naruto to face it. Naruto demolishes Trevenant with a single Pyro Ball. Snorlax is up next and gets hit by Pyro Ball, then increases its defense with Stockpile. I then send out Tenten and proceeds with Stockpile. Tenten uses Charm and another Stockpile from Snorlax. Another Charm from Tenten and Snorlax launches into the air with Heavy Slam. One last Charm to further reduce Snorlax's attack, and a Body Slam paralyzes Tenten. I send out Neji, who gets hit by a super effective Heavy Slam, but thanks to Charm, the attack does minimal damage. Neji uses Fake Tears to reduce its special defense, and another Heavy Slam from Snorlax. Another Fake Tears and a Heavy Slam sends Neji into the yellow. Neji stays in battle with the Dark Pulse, and Snorlax uses Heavy Slam once again. On the following turn, the same moves are applied. Next, Hop uses a Hyper Potion and Neji uses Dark Pulse. Then I switch to Tenten and get hit by a Heavy Slam. Snorlax outspeeds with a critical hit Body Slam and Tenten uses Hydro Pump. A critical hit Heavy Slam almost knocks out Tenten, but Tenten defeats Snorlax with Bubble Beam. Hop's East Pokemon Rillaboom is up next, so I send out Naruto who gets hit by a Brutal Swing. It only takes one Pyro Ball to defeat it. For Hop's next Pokemon, Boltund, I send out Gaara and get hit by Crunch. Gaara outspeeds and lands one-shot Bulldoze. Lastly, it only takes 2 Bulldozes to defeat Heatmore. At level 42, Neji evolves into a scary monster called Grimmsnarl. For the 6th gym battle, Naruto will face Melanie and her team of Ice-type Pokemon. Naruto destroys Frostmoth with a stab quad-effective Flame Charge and also pumps up its speed. Darmanitan comes out and Naruto uses a one-shot Pyro Ball. The Blockhead Ice Cube comes out and Naruto removes the ice on its head, and Ice Cube uses Hail. The Ice Face returns because of Hail. A Flame Charge removes it again, and Ice Cube uses Icy Wind to reduce Naruto's speed. Naruto uses Flame Charge again, and Ice Cube uses Icy Wind again. Naruto goes for a double kick to defeat the Penguin. For Melanie's last Pokemon, Lapras, I activate Dynamax and Melanie's gigantifies her Lapras with Gigantamax. Naruto uses Max Flare to remove the Hail with Sunlight. Lapras uses Max Geyser and thanks to the sun, the move is weakened. Naruto then eats his Citrus Berry to recover some health. I then switch to Tenten and Tenten withstands the rain-boosted Max Geyser. Melanie starts boasting her Lapras. Lapras G-Max Resonance hits Tenten. Tenten ate her Citrus Berry and proceeds with Bubble Beam. Gigantamax is now over as Lapras outspeeds with Ice Beam and Tenten goes for Play Rough. Another Ice Beam freezes Tenten. I then sent out Hinata to take on the Ice Beam. Grass Knot is not enough, and Lapras lowers Hinata's speed with Icy Wind. I then switch to Neji and got frozen from Ice Beam. Neji stays in battle and enjoys Ice Beam, and it also triggers the Citrus Berry. I stall out and Neji defeats Lapras with a Sucker Punch. This goofball doesn't know when to give up as we face Hop for the 7th time. Hop sends out Dubwool and I go for Gaara. I taught Gaara Earthquake, one of my favorite moves in Pokemon, and Dubwool misses its takedown. Another Earthquake to bring it down to the red health, and Dubwool uses Defense Curl. Hop uses a Hyper Potion and Gaara goes for a Brutal Swing. I then switch to Neji and Dubwool goes for Growl. Dubwool outspeeds with a critical hit takedown and Neji lands a Dark Pulse. Dubwool goes for Defense Curl and a final Dark Pulse to defeat the sheep. The bulky Snorlax comes out to play. I send out Tenten and it gets hit by a critical hit Heavy Slam. Tenten goes for Charm and a Body Slam follows. another charm and body slam on the next round. I then send out Hinata, who gets paralyzed by body slam, but Snorlax becomes infatuated. Hinata steals outspeed and hits Snorlax with a super effective double kick, but Snorlax manages to hit Hinata with body slam. Hinata defeats Snorlax with a double kick. Up next is Rillaboom, so I sent out Naruto and Naruto got hit by Brick Break. A single Pyro Ball is all it takes to defeat the overgrown gorilla. Hop's next Pokemon is Pincurchin. I sent out Gaara and got hit by a super effective Bubble Beam. A single stab super effective Earthquake on Pincurchin defeats it, for his last Pokemon is Corviknight. I switch to Naruto and it gets hit with a scary face. Corviknight outspeeds and lands a critical hit Drill Peck. Naruto stands and lands a final Flame Charge, earning us the victory over Hop. We can finally surf and explore the Isle of Armor even further. Through our exploration, we found a Wigglytuff and we named it Choji. Okay, now get lost. I would really appreciate this cutscene if this guy is literally singing with his voice. Let's battle the Rockstar Pierce, who specializes in Dark-type Pokemon. Pierce sends out Scrafty and it intimidates Choji. Scrafty outspeeds with its Sand Attack, and Choji fails to connect with a Draining Kiss. Next turn, Scrafty lands a Brick Break and Choji connects with a quad effective Draining Kiss. Another Brick Break and a final Draining Kiss of Death to defeat Scrafty. Malamar comes out with a Psycho Cut and Malamar avoids a charm. I then switch to Neji to counter Psycho Cut. Malamar proceeds with a not so effective Night Slash. Neji uses a stab super effective Spirit Break, sending Malamar into the red. Malamar went for foul play and Neji squashes it with Spirit Break. The Kiss member Obstagoon comes out with a bang. It uses Obstruct and Neji fails to deliver a fake Tears. I'm carefully choosing my moves because Obstagoon might use counter. I kept using Dark Pulse to play safe as Obstagoon uses Shadow Claw. Shadow Claw sends Neji into the yellow and activates his held Citrus Berry. I kept using Dark Pulse to send it to the yellow. My attempt for Spirit Break fails as Obstagoon uses Obstruct to lower Neji's defense. Plus a critical hit Shadow Claw almost knocks Neji out. But luckily Neji stands and delivers a Spirit Break. Skuntank comes out and I send out Gaara to deal with it. A combination of Laser Focus and an Earthquake to claim our 7th Gym Badge. Going back to Hammerlock City, we managed to evolve Lazy Shikamaru into a Noivern at level 48. Now he's ready for battle. Our ninja team is ready to face Raihan and his team of Dragon-type Pokemon. Flygon and Gigalith comes out as I send out Tenten and Shikamaru. Shikamaru defeats Flygon with a single Dragon Pulse and Tenten connects with Bubble Beam, hitting Gigalith, and Gigalith then proceeds with Stealth Rocks. Raihan sends out Sandaconda and it gets hit by Super Fang. Sandaconda uses Glare to paralyze Shikamaru. Tenten uses Bubble Beam on Gigalith, and Gigalith uses Body Press on Tenten. On the next turn, Sandaconda uses Protect to avoid the Hydro Pump from Tenten, and Shikamaru uses Dragon Pulse on Gigalith, while Gigalith goes for another Body Press on Tenten. Sandaconda goes for Earth Power on Tenten, and Sandaconda gets defeated with the Hydro Pump, while Shikamaru defeats Gigalith with a Dragon Pulse. Raihan is confident as ever as he sends out his Ace Pokemon, Duraludon. I then send out Gaara, and Gaara gets hit by a G-Max Depletion. Tenten lands a charm to reduce its attack. Expecting a fighting move from Duraludon, I then switch Gaara to Shikamaru, and as expected it uses a G-Max Knuckle on Shikamaru. Tenten proceeds with Charm. I anticipate a max depletion so I send out Neji to nullify it, and another charm on Duraludon. Gigantamax is now over. Now it's Tenten's turn to become a giant, and she hits Duraludon with a max Knuckle. Duraludon outspeeds and lands a critical hit Body Press on Neji, forcing Neji to consume a Citrus Berry. Neji weakens Duraludon with Spirit Break and finally defeats it with a Sucker Punch. We have defeated Raihan and claimed our 8th and final Gym Badge. Let's start the semifinals of the Pokemon League tournament with the Goth Queen Marnie and her team of Dark types. Marnie sends out Liepard and I go with Choji. Liepard outspeeds with Snarl, reducing Choji's special attack, and Choji connects with a quad effective Focus Blast. Liepard outspeeds and opts for Torment, and a Hyper Voice from Choji takes it out. Toxicroak comes out and I switch to Gaara. Toxicroak then proceeds with Toxic. On the next turn, a Sucker Punch hits Gaara, but Gaara uses a stab super effective Earthquake on Toxicroak. Surprisingly, Toxicroak survives. On the next turn, an Earthquake defeats Toxicroak. Next up is Crafty. I send out Tenten and it gets hit by a Brick Break. Tenten uses a quad effective Play Rough and Scrafty hits Tenten with a Crunch. One last Play Rough to send out Morpeko, and Morpeko goes for Torment. Morpeko then changes its form, Gaara outspeeds and lands a stab super effective Earthquake. The cheers motivated Marnie to unleash her final Pokemon, Grimmsnarl. I then switch to Tenten and Marnie activates Gigantamax on Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl uses G-Max Snooze. I then send out Naruto and Naruto takes on a critical hit Max Starfall. Naruto then eats his citrus berry. I activated Dynamax, and Naruto outspeeds with a super effective Max Steel Spikes. Grimmsnarl uses Max Snooze, and its Gigantamax ended. Naruto ends the battle with a Max Steel Spikes, and for that, we claimed victory over Marnie. Before our battle in the tournament continues, we head back to the dojo to change Naruto's Dynamax into a Gigantamax. For the second round of the semifinals, it is against our rival Hop. Hop sends out Double and I go for Neji. Double outspeeds Neji and Neji lands a critical hit with Power Up Punch, which also boosts Neji's attack. On the next turn, a Body Slam paralyzes Neji, leaving him paralyzed. Another Body Slam is used to keep Neji down. Next, Neji strikes with a surprise Sucker Punch to take down Double. Hop's next Pokemon is Pincurchin. Sucker Punch fails and Pincurchin uses Curse. I send out Gaara and Pincurchin uses Poison Jab. Gaara retaliates with Earthquake, and Poison Jab from Pincurchin poisons Gaara. Gaara follows it with one last stab, super effective Earthquake, and defeats Pincurchin. The poison then triggers Citrus Berry, and Gaara returns to full health. Next is Snorlax, who endures an Earthquake. Snorlax then uses a super effective Hammer Arm. I switch to 10-10, and Snorlax uses Hammer Arm. Snorlax receives damage thanks to Rocky Helmet. 10-10 uses Superpower, sending Snorlax into the red. Snorlax uses Heavy Slam, but thanks to Rocky Helmet, Snorlax meets his demise. Corviknight comes out and I sent out Naruto and gets swaggered. I then switch to Choji and Corviknight goes for Scary Face. Corviknight uses a powerful Steel Wing and Choji uses Charm to lower its attack. I then send out Shikamaru and it gets swaggered. Shikamaru hits itself and Corviknight uses Scary Face. Naruto returns to the battlefield and Corviknight uses Steel Wing. Naruto outspeeds and KOs Corviknight with a stab super effective Pyro Ball, defeating Corviknight as Rillaboom comes out. I activate Naruto's newfound power, his Sage Mode Gigantamax. Hop activates Dynamax and Naruto delivers a one-hit KO on Rillaboom with a G-Max Fireball to end the battle. We head straight up to Rose's Tower, the tallest building in the Galar region. We face numerous Steel-type trainers and manage to overcome them and reach the summit, only to face the angry businesswoman Oliana and her team of female Pokemon. Oliana sends out Frostlass and I send out Naruto. Naruto one-hit KOs Frostlass with a Flame Charge. Oliana's next Pokemon is Milotic, so I send out Neji and Milotic uses Aqua Ring. Next, Milotic outspeeds with a Surf, and Neji uses Power Up Punch. Milotic uses Safeguard and another Power Up Punch to boost its attack. Milotic again with Surf and another Power Up Punch. Neji fails to deliver a Sucker Punch because Milotic uses Recover. Neji successfully delivers a one-hit KO Sucker Punch on Milotic. Next up is Salazzle. Neji uses Sucker Punch and Salazzle opts for Poison Gas. A Sucker Punch from Neji then KOs Salazzle. Her next Pokemon is Sarina. I then switch to Shikamaru only to get attacked. Shikamaru is immobilized by Love. Sarina uses Acrobatics. Again, the same thing applies on the next turn, so I switch out to Naruto and takes on Acrobatics. Naruto uses Flame Charge and an Acrobatic sends Naruto into the yellow. One last Flame Charge does the trick. Angry as ever, she sends out her ace, Garbodor. I then send out Gaara to deal with it. Oliana activates Gigantamax on Garbodor and hits Gaara with the Max Rockfall. On the next turn, I activate Dynamax on Gaara and unleash Max Quake, sending the giant pile of garbage into the yellow. Garbodor then uses Max Quake. Surprisingly, on the next turn, Garbodor outspeeds with a Max Quake. But one last Max Quake defeats Garbodor and makes Oliana feel miserable. The finals begin with a little filler battle with Bede, who specializes in Fairy-type Pokemon. The fight begins with Mawile and Naruto got intimidated. He sent out Gaara and got hit by Crunch, and one stab super effective Earthquake knocks out Mawile. Bede's next Pokemon is Gardevoir. Gaara hits it with Earthquake and Gardevoir goes for Calm Mind. Another Earthquake takes it down. Galarian Rapidash is out next and got Earthquake. And Gaara got hit by Psycho Cut, one more Earthquake to knock it out. Bede's final Pokemon is Hatterene. I then send out 10-10. Bede unleashes Gigantamax and hits 10-10 with a Max Mindstorm. I then send out Choji, and Hatterene destroys Choji with a single G-Max Smite. Not what I'm expecting. Rest easy, buddy. I then sent out Naruto, and Naruto went Gigantamax, and hits Hatterene with a Max Steel Spikes. Hatterene hits Naruto with a Max Mindstorm. The Gigantamax ended for Hatterene, and Naruto ends the battle with one last Max Steel Spikes. I have to say, battling Bede this time was quite a challenge. I went to the wild areas to catch a new member of the team, a Glaceon. I will only catch one evolution on this run, so we caught the girl and named her Temari. The first battle of the finals between me and Nessa, the Water-type specialist. Battle begins with Golisopod and Tenten. The first 2 turns, there is an exchange of Charm and Swords Dance. For the first attacking move, there is a Play Rough and a Shadow Claw. Next, a Charm is used to lower its attack and Golisopod went for Shadow Claw. Play Rough connects and Golisopod powers up with Swords Dance. Another Play Rough triggers Emergency Exit and Nessa sends out Barraskewda. Barraskewda outspeeds with an Ice Fang and it flinches Tenten. On the next turn, a Drill Run and a Charm are used. The next Drill Run sends Tenten to the yellow, triggering her Citrus Berry, and Charm continues. Ice Fang lands and one last Charm is used to weaken its attack even further. I then sent out Neji and got hit by Ice Fang. Barraskewda lands a Liquidation and a critical hit Power-Up Punch to increase Neji's attack. Neji keeps using Power-Up Punch until Barraskewda can no longer fight. Next is Seeking. Seeking outspeeds with Aqua Ring and another Power-Up Punch is used to boost its attack. Neji uses Sucker Punch to KO Seeking. A False Surrender on Golisopod, Pelipper for a Tailwind but one hit KO False Surrender does the job. Nessa's ace Pokemon is Dreadnought goes for Gigantamax. Time to activate Dynamax on Neji as it becomes the Attack Titan. Dreadnought speeds thanks to Tailwind and lands a powerful G-Max Stone Surge. Neji KOs Dreadnought with a single Max Darkness defeating Nessa. The second battle commences as we face Alistair, the master of Ghost-type Pokemon. It's Dusknoir versus Gaara. Gaara uses Brutal Swing and Dusknoir uses Rock Tomb. In the second turn, same moves are applied. Gaara still outspeeds and uses Earthquake, but Dusknoir manages to withstand it, and it continues with Rock Tomb. Due to the lowered speed, I switch to 10-10 and Alistair heals Dusknoir with full restore. Gaara returns and gets hit by Rock Tomb. Gaara hits Dusknoir with Earthquake, bringing it to the yellow zone, and Dusknoir continues with Rock Tomb. A Brutal Swing is not enough, so another Rock Tomb is used. I then send out 10-10 and Dusknoir fails to disable. 10-10 then finishes off Dusknoir with the Play Rough. Up next is Poltegeist, and I switch to Neji. Poltegeist fails to protect, uses Giga Drain, and Neji finishes it with one False Surrender. Alistair sends out Chandelure, and I sent out 10-10 to deal with it. However, 10-10 gets Will-O-Wisp. Chandelure uses Mystical Fire and lowers 10-10's special attack, so Hydro Pump wasn't enough. Shadow Ball connects, triggering Citrus Berry. One last Hydro Pump finishes it off. Cursula has now been sent out, and it's time for Temari's debut. Cursula hits Glaceon with Hex. Cursula uses Amnesia and Temari fails to use Mirror Coat. Ancient Power lands and Mirror Coat hits Cursula. I send out Gaara and get hit by Ancient Power. One last Earthquake takes out Cursula. Ace Gengar comes out and it's time to activate Dynamax. And Alistair brings a threat by activating Gigantamax on his Gengar. Gaara outspeeds and lands a stab, super effective Max Quake, and Gengar uses Max Darkness. Gaara eats his Citrus Berry twice, but one last Max Darkness to defeat Gengar and advance to the finals. For the last match of the finals, it's with Raihan, the Weatherman and Dragon-type specialist. Torkoal sets up Drought and 10-10 negates the sun with Rain Dance. Torkoal charges for Solar Beam, so I sent out Shikamaru to resist it. Shikamaru KOs Torkoal with 2 Dragon Pulse. Next is Turtonator, who got demolished by a single Dragon Pulse. Flygon also got knocked out by a single Dragon Pulse as well. Shikamaru uses Dragon Pulse sending Gudra to the yellow, thanks to its bulky special defense. You should have hit me with a Dragon move instead of setting up Rain. So another Dragon Pulse KOs Gudra. Confident as ever, he sends out Duraludon. I send out Neji expecting a Dragon move. Raihan activates Gigantamax and negates G-Max depletion. Anticipating a Steel-type attack, I switch to Naruto. I sent out Gaara for him to tank a Max Rockfall. The G-Max is over, so it's time for a Dynamax on Gaara. Gaara used Max Quake but it wasn't enough. Duraludon connects with a super effective Body Press, but one last Max Quake to seal the deal and we won the finals. Let's stop the evil businessman Chairman Rose with Naruto. Naruto one-hit deletes Escavalier with a Flame Charge. A single Pyro Ball on Kling Klang. Ferrothorn gets a single Flame Charge and Naruto gets a little damage with Iron Barbs. A Pyro Ball on Berserker and Rose sends out his ace Pokemon Kaparaja. Gigantamax has now been activated on both sides. Naruto outspeeds and one-shots Kaparaja with a single G-Max Fireball. Being evil doesn't really suit you, Chairman Rose. Thanks to Assault Vest, Temari manages to survive a Max Flare from Eternatus. Temari knocks it out with a Freeze Dry. Eternatus is probably the first legendary Pokemon that you can catch using a Pokeball. Let's visit the second DLC in the game, the Crown Tundra, to catch Pokemon while exploring this beautiful area. I found a Nidoqueen with a pathetic moveset. I caught it and named our final catch Onko. This is somewhat a lazy game design with invisible walls, which reminds me of the game I playing, Black Myth Wukong. For the final battle against Leon, here is the final team to face him. Let's end this run once and for all. Let's show Leon who is the strongest trainer in the Galar region. Leon sends out Aegislash and Anko faces it. Anko sets out Toxic Spikes and Aegislash goes into battle mode using Shadow Ball. Next, Anko one-hit KOs Aegislash with a stab super effective drill run. Leon calls Haxorus and gets poisoned. Expecting an Earthquake, I send out Shikamaru. Anticipating an Outrage, I send out Tenten. I send out Shikamaru again and it gets poisoned by Poison Jab. Shikamaru defeats Haxorus with a stab super effective Dragon Pulse. Mr. Rime is up next, so I send out Temari to tank a Freeze Dry. Temari outspeeds with Icy Wave to lower its speed, and Mr. Rime confuses Temari with Teeter Dance. I then send out Naruto, and Naruto gets hit by a powerful Psychic. On the next turn, Naruto slays the opponent with a stab super effective Pyro Ball. Leon sends out Inteleon to counter Naruto. I then switch to Temari, and Temari gets hit by a critical hit Sniper Shot. Tenten enters to take on Sniper Shot. Inteleon uses Tearful Look to lower Tenten's attack and special attack. Temari then retaliates with a Play Rough. I summon Shikamaru and got Tearful Look from Inteleon. The poison deals a lot of damage, so it is enough for Shikamaru to take it out with a single Dragon Pulse. Dragapult has been summoned, I then switch to Neji and Neji negates Dragon Breath. It only takes a Sucker Punch to defeat it. Leon's final Pokemon is his ace, Charizard. Leon activates Gigantamax to enlarge his Charizard, and I summon the Attack Titan. Leon calls upon the Phoenix Force and Charizard unleashes G-Max Wildfire, while Neji uses Max Darkness. Another G-Max Wildfire could destroy Neji, so I switch to Tenten, and Tenten almost got knocked out by a Max Airstream. I send out Naruto to resist G-Max Wildfire. The Gigantamax has ended, but it takes an unexpected turn. I clearly forgot that Max Airstream boosts the speed of Charizard. It outspeeds Naruto and defeats Naruto with a super effective Ancient Power. Anko faces Charizard and evades a Fire Blast. Anko then delivers a Crunch, causing a defense drop. Expecting a Solar Beam, I switch to Temari. Another mistake results in another Pokemon being taken down, as Temari succumbs to Fire Blast, and Shikamaru also falls to an Air Slash. Tenten takes the lead. Charizard charges for Solar Beam, but Tenten uses Hydro Pump and defeats Charizard, claiming the victory. And that is the story of how I beat a Pokémon Shield Hardcore Nuzlocke using Pokemon with big ears. What I love about this run is that an underdog Pokemon and one of the most underrated Naruto characters ended the battle. Subscribe and thank you for watching.